Good evening. I'm going to call the November 16th, 2023 regular meeting of the Town Board to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Present.
Councilmember Delarada. Absent. Councilmember McPartlin.
Here.
Councilmember Brennan.
Here.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Here. All right, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We wish to respectfully acknowledge that Niskayuna is on the traditional lands of the Kanikihaka and the Mahikanac peoples, past and present, and we honor with gratitude the land itself and the peoples who have stewarded this land throughout generations. Yes. I just want to note that Councilmember De La Rada is present. He was slightly tardy as he was leaving court. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, starting with the approval of minutes, may I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the October 24th, 2023 regular meeting of the Town Board?
Motion to approve the minutes from the October 24th, 2023 regular meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any changes to those minutes? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, those meeting minutes are approved. Okay, and we'll move on to privilege of the floor. I would just like to remind everyone, we have a 3-minute limit during privilege of the floor. Please be respectful of the town policy and limit your remarks within this time frame. The floor is now open.
Leslie Gold, 1919 Pawtucket Avenue. And I will note that there are 2 resolutions on the agenda dealing with Troy Road. And I'm generally in favor of that because I think there are safety improvements that are needed. I was concerned initially after the planning meeting last week that I didn't hear anything about state DOT involved, and since it's a state road, they need to be. But the text of one of the resolutions makes it clear they are. And I would just want to urge that DOT go through the history of Troy Schenectady Road and look at what's been done in the past, what's worked and what hasn't. And was really triggered by the comments last week that there was consideration of adding medians. We did that in the past, the state did that in the past, and they proved to be more problematic than helpful. So I just urge caution on that, and let's not make that history repeat itself. Thank you.
The floor is still open.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Dickey. I'm a resident at 1604 Lexington Parkway. Resident, business owner also in town, but my primary role is as a father. We just came here tonight to applaud the town board for considering the resolutions for the AEDs at the town parks. In addition to being a resident and a business owner, my oldest is a single ventricle child, which means instead of 4 chambers in her heart, she has 2. Having these AEDs at the town parks, or most anywhere else for that matter, has a value far above and beyond any dollars or cents to me and my family and others in this town. There are several like them, so I'm going to sit and applaud you as you pass this. I expect to see you unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the floor is still open if there's any other residents who would like to speak. Okay, seeing no other residents, we'll move on to committee reports, starting with police and public safety.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Our committee met on November 2nd at 3:30, and under operations, we discussed that the towing bid for 2024 is still ongoing. We have the overnight parking enforcement continuing from November 1st through April 1st. There's no parking on town roads. Our highway department does a great job clearing the roads during snowstorms, and we need to make sure those roads are clear for them to do their jobs. Under fleet and equipment, we have the purchase of helmets for officers. We also have the purchase of a Black Cat 2 radar recorder. We thanked Detective Munger for doing a lot of research on this piece of equipment. We should be able to conduct our analysis more effectively and efficiently. So we're really looking forward to working on our roads and our safety using this new tool. For building, we have fencing and the wall around the rear of the police department. That's still ongoing. And we thanked Ray Smith and the highway department for the sidewalks. They're not only beautiful, but they're much safer. For building safety efforts, we are working with training our staff on de-escalation techniques and adjusting doors for safety as well. We have the goal for employees to feel safer and to also feel more confident to handle situations. Under training, our department is completing a unit on anti-bias training. And Recruit O'Brien continues training at Zone 5 Academy. Officer Thomas Sohn has successfully completed his service FTO training. Detective Munger completed his drone training. He already had his drone license, so now he's going to be part of a county-wide drone team. That's a resource for our community because we can recreate crime scenes, we could do crime scene mapping, we can look at accident scenes, and we could look for missing people, to name a few of the benefits of this. So that was great that Detective Munger can join this team. Sergeant Party and Officer Breslin are attending crisis intervention training. And Officer Wyman will be attending firearm instructor school. And Sergeant's Party and Henry will be attending standard field sobriety test instructor school. We had no citizen correspondence. Under town events, we had a lot of community engagement again this month. We had coffee with the cop at the senior center and at Target. And we also supported the Veterans Memorial Service. That was Thursday the 9th. For court issues, we have a court clerk appointment. Under the fire department, we are coordinating with Fire Department 1 to run the holiday parade again this year. For school district, we have Sergeant Relation working with the district to finalize implementations for the bus patrol program. Under personnel, we have our permanent appointment of Deputy Chief Twitty. And under other, we had our community survey that we're still continuing to push out. If anyone wants to go on our website and complete that, it would be very helpful for us. And we have 3 resolutions tonight. One is to call for the public hearing for the amendment of the code for the parking on Plum Street. We also have a resolution that's just changing a vendor name because a vendor we used just officially changed their name. And a resolution to permanently appoint Deputy Chief Twitty. And our next committee meeting will be December 7th at 3:30.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Brennan. Moving on to community programs.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. The Community Programs Committee met earlier this month on November 2nd. Unfortunately, the Halloween Parade and Police Department open house, which was scheduled the weekend before our meeting, had to be canceled due to rain. We had a lot planned for the afternoon, and we appreciate all of our residents, as always, who were just as excited as we are. And while I was disappointed to cancel, we are already looking forward to next year, weather permitting. Ski Club registration has closed for the upcoming season. The club begins on January 5th. It runs for 6 weeks, and we have over 50 kids signed up this year. Our 2023 Toys for Tots collection is underway. Collection boxes are located right outside in the rotunda, and they will remain there until December 8th. Every year, we pride ourselves on being the top collection site in the area, and thanks to everyone's generosity, we hope to achieve that again this year. Also, this holiday season, we are again a host site for Things of My Very Own. We received 345 wish tags last week, and currently only have 45 left, which is amazing. We are expecting hopefully a second batch sometime next week, and residents can pick up their wish tags also in the rotunda on the small silver tray. Speaking of trees, this year's tree lighting ceremony will be held on Friday, December 8th at 5 p.m. The high school choir will be here singing holiday songs in the gazebo, and hot chocolate will be served. The following day, Saturday, December 9th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. is our annual Parents' Night Out event. It's for kids ages 4 to 10, and the admission cost is one toy for Toys for Tots. There will be arts and crafts, and we will be playing the Pixar movie Elemental. Business as usual at the Senior Center. All of our regular programs are continuing, and information on those programs can be found on the town's website. Of special note, the center is planning to host a holiday luncheon on December 7th. For resolutions coming out of committee this month, we have 2 involving the town's AED project, as well as 1 resolution to hire a fitness instructor. And our next meeting will be on Thursday, December 7th at 4:30 upstairs in the Schaefer Room.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Councilmember Moskowitz. Thank you. All right, moving on to Public Works.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Public Works, we met on November 2nd. We started a meeting talking about transportation and public facilities, and that's our Highway Department with Ray Smith. As everyone knows, it is the season for leaf pickup, so get your leaves out there. Please look on the town website for when your zone will be picked up. We're done with the first round, and now we're into the second round of pickup of loose leaves. So hopefully the weather will cooperate and we'll be able to get all those up before we get any snow. We are still looking for 1 person in our Parks Department. We're still looking to hire a person for our Parks Department, so if you know anyone, please have them send their resume in to the Highway Department, Highway and Parks Department. We discussed the disc golf area and the new mower that we purchased for that area and the landfill cap. We're very happy with that piece of equipment and its initial outing, and hopefully that's going to be useful in saving the town money and help us to maintain all of our retention ponds and give them further longevity. At the highway garage, the mechanics are working on getting some of the trucks ready for plowing and sanding. We do that. We have a few trucks ready, but the rest of the trucks are out still working on picking up leaves. The next part of our meeting is Public Works. That's our engineering department and our water and sewer department. And at that meeting, we have a resolution about water lines on Aqueduct Road and Hilltop Road. We talked about water and sewer maintenance. We're still looking for 2 people in that department. So again, we're still looking for people in both highway and our water and sewer department. We discussed the utility billing resolution, which is on the agenda for this evening. Our wastewater treatment plan, our organic waste program is going well, and we're continuing to work to get other material in to continue to make that a successful program. We also discussed sending one of our plant operators to a training program at SUNY Morrisville. We have a lot of opportunity for employees here at the town, not only, as Jessica said, in the police department for training, but in the water department, highway department. We train our people. We offer these trainings for them so that we can make sure that they have all the skills necessary to do their jobs. At our water treatment plant, our upgrades there are going well. Our new transformer is online, and we continue to work to upgrade the electrical equipment down there. I reported on this a little bit at the last meeting, but our recycling event of TVs and electronics, we took in 6 tons of electronics. That's televisions and computers and a lot of equipment. And that was all free to the residents of the town. The state had passed a law that all electronics now will be recycled free of charge. So we did very well with that. That material then goes to a recycler rather than ending up in a landfill. Also, we had our shredding truck there, again, very successful, and filled that up. And our next meeting is December 7th at 8 a.m.
Thank you, Councilmember McPartlin. And wrapping up with Economic Development, Historic Preservation, and Environmental Conservation.
Thank you. We meet on the first Friday of every month. We have three resolutions, or three rather large resolutions on tonight coming out of our Economic Development and Historical Preservation Committee. One is the Mohawk River land transfer, and that is a great thing for the town to be able to gain control of and use and explore. I believe it's about 100 acres, so congratulations and thank you. We also have two resolutions coming out to try to solve some issues with Route 7, which has been a long standing problem, although I guess in a way it's kind of a good problem because traffic means that people are coming to a wonderful town, either through it or to it, most of them to it, because a lot of good things have been going on, especially all the improvements that the town is able to do on the Mohawk Riverfront, as well as all around as far as traffic calming and the like. So if we can get those two grants in action, I believe that'll be about $150,000, which would be wonderful and much needed to make improvements on Route 7 for crosswalks and turning lanes and so forth. So those will be coming out of our Economic Development Committee tonight, and hopefully you folks can join us on the first Friday of next month and we can discuss further improvements to our town. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember De La Rada. So it's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I'll keep my remarks brief. Tonight, out of my committee, we'll be voting on the final proposed 2024 budget. This budget includes all capital purchases for equipment and vehicles instead of utilizing short-term borrowing during this period of very high interest rates, and we are also continuing to pay down short-term debt rather than rolling it into long-term debt. In working with the town comptroller, we are working very hard to develop a 5-year spending plan that prepares us for the future and continues to invest in our town. Similar to other municipalities, we are facing significant increased fees for healthcare, retirement costs, as well as higher costs for chemicals, equipment, fuel, electricity. So the budget will transfer fund balance to support revenues to ensure that the residential tax increase is minimal. It is essentially returning tax dollars to our residents. More specifically, the budget has a 0.55% residential tax increase from 2023, which is an actual increase of 2 cents per $1,000 of home value. In conversation with our residents and department heads, again, we've discussed this, but I'll review it. We are investing in several new positions, 2 new police officers, as well as the promotion of an additional sergeant so that we can reinstate a traffic division. And this would increase our police department to 32 officers. We will also be adding a new assistant community programs director. This came out of many conversations with youth sports programs and parents, and also out of our DEI advisory committee. They had recommended we have additional or expand our programming to support children with different abilities. So sometimes those are referred to as challenge programs. So we're looking to expand opportunities to be more inclusive. We're also looking to add a grounds worker position in the Highway Transportation and Parks Department, and that individual will be directly working to make sure our fields, our sports fields, will be maintained at the same, if not greater level, but it'll be someone who can work directly with the Assistant Community Programs Director, as well as Superintendent of Highway, Ray Smith, and also our Community Programs Director, Lori Peretti. So together they'll work as a team. So that'll be, I think, adding a lot of value to our youth programming and youth sports in our town. And let's see, we're also importantly honoring our workforce. If it's not for our workforce, we wouldn't be getting everything completed in a timely manner and doing all that they do to meet the needs of our community. So our budget invests in them by honoring contractually obligated salary increases for our unionized labor, as well as cost of living, grade, and step increases for our non-union labor. So I'm very honored we put together a budget that invests in community safety, community programs, as well as our community of employees. And I would just like to wrap up that this morning I was visited by a group of preschool children from our local Montessori school, and they took a tour of Town Hall. They visited me in my office where I read them a wonderful children's book that Councilmember Brennan got for me as a lovely gift. And the book is called All Our Neighbors. And the children had an absolutely wonderful time as I read the book. And in closing, I asked, of course, comprehension questions, because every good teacher always checks for comprehension. And I said, so tell me, children, what was this book about? And one little child raised their hand and said, it's about community. And I said, okay, very good. What else? And another child said, it's about neighbors. And I said, yes, very good. What else? And then another children said, it's about love. And it was very, very true and very special that the children understood that this book was about being community members, it was about being neighbors, it was about being inclusive to everyone, and it was essentially about love. So that was a really great day for us. And then the children went and had a wonderful tour with Chief Koshin, and I believe you deputized a few of those children. There we have it.
Is that in the budget?
It was not in the budget. It was a quick hour. So it was a wonderful day, and I want to thank Jean Fody for helping arrange that visit, and Chief Koshin for also giving a tour of the police department. So with all of that love being spread around, let's move on to our resolutions. All right. We will start off with Resolution 2023-271, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution permanently appointing a person to the position of Deputy Police Chief.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I'll just add, I know we said it when he was originally given the position, but Deputy Police Chief Twitty is amazing. He's strong, he's wise, he's a great leader, so we're very fortunate to have him as a community.
Absolutely.
It's a great position for him, too. Yeah.
All right, seeing no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-272, sponsored by Councilmember Moskowitz. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution hiring a fitness instructor in the town's Office of Community Programs.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-273, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing certain budgetary modifications.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-274, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution amending resolution number 2023-180.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I'll just clarify, this is the resolution that changes the company name we work with. It's the same company, they just changed their name.
Thank you. All right, seeing no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-275, sponsored by Councilmember Moskowitz. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the acceptance of donations for AEDs to be utilized in town parks.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I'll take the next one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Seeing no discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-276, sponsored by Councilmember Moskowitz. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the purchase of AEDs with covers for use in the town parks.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I am thrilled to see this resolution on the agenda tonight. This all started back in, I think, February or March, soon after DeMar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest on the football field. And a concerned parent who was in a position similar to Mr. Nicky's reached out to me and said, what do we do if this happens on one of our town sports fields? So I right away called Lori Peretti, who got right to work on getting quotes, filling out grant applications, and seeing how we could take my idea and make it possible. So thank you, Lori, for doing that and for taking my idea and keeping the ball rolling with it. As we said in the previous resolution, for all of the residents who generously donated some pretty significant amounts and made this possible, I think that's incredible and speaks a lot about the community. Once the devices are received by the town and installed, I look forward to working with our sports organizations to make sure their coaches and parents are CPR trained. And I hope we never ever have to use these. But in the event that we do, it's going to be incredible to have them on hand. So thank you again to everybody who made it possible.
And thank you, Councilmember Moskowitz, for working on that.
Thank you.
It's been an incredible journey to see town residents, contribute, as well as Fire District 1 and Fire District 2, and also Assemblymember Steck. So,
The Community Foundation.
and the Caniskuna Community Foundation kicked it off with their $5,000 grant. So it was a very good team effort, and I'm very happy that the family reached out and brought the idea forward, and you carried it across the end zone. I had to think about that.
Finish
So,
line.
Yeah, the finish line. Is that what they call it? No, something-
Goal line.
Goal line. Okay, sorry. My kid played soccer.
They all work.
Thank you.
It was a hole-in-one.
Thank you.
Oh, that's golf. Don't try to trick me. Come on. All right. Well, thank you so much, Councilmember Moskowitz.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Good job. All right. Moving on to Resolution 2023-277, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution provisionally appointing a court clerk.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-278, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni and Councilmember De La Rada. Will the clerk please read?
Okay, I'm just going to add that.
It was on, I think it's on the resolution, but not on the agenda.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
A resolution making a determination on seeker with respect to the transfer of lands of the Mohawk River State Park to the town of Niskuna.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
One of a couple of large resolutions coming out of the Economic Development Committee and due to a lot of hard work from the supervisors. So thank you for this. It will be nice to gain control of this chunk of land in Niskuna and make some improvements that aren't costly but certainly would make the park a little bit more user-friendly,
Absolutely.
and it's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
Thank you. And just, I had a group of residents reach out and just really wanting to express that this transfer be with the stipulation the land will remain forever wild. And yes, the state required that as part of the transfer of the land. And of course, I fully and wholeheartedly support that. And it was simply a matter of, this is a state park that the state has not invested in for years, and the trails are in need of improvement. Signage is needed, and hopefully we will be adding additional parking, minimal changes to the parking, and eventually a bathroom. And I just, this is not only me that worked on this, but it was also the superintendent of highway, Ray Smith. He was one of the individuals I initially spoke to about this when I said, that park needs some work. And when I walked the land, when I took a hike with the regional director of New York State Parks and Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, I basically said, either the state invests in this park, or you transfer it to the town and we invest in it. And we're already lined up to apply for several grants, and I think we're going to be very competitive for them. And I think our residents are already geared up to work on trails. We have Friends of Niskayuna Trails, and they are ready to start working and making those improvements. And we have a great team of folks in the Highway Transportation Department, Highway Transportation and Parks Department, who are eager to make improvements to those trails. So I think it's just going to be a really great opportunity for our community to come together to maintain the land in its natural state. All right. So no other discussion. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-279, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution adopting the annual budget for the town of Niskayuna for 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I appreciate all of the hard work and time that goes into drafting the budget. Supervisor and town control and department heads put a lot of time and work into this, between the preliminary budget, the tentative budget, our budget workshops. I think that this year's budget does include a lot of great things, but I would just note that I previously cited a couple concerns, including taking over $2 million from fund balance to balance the budget and to support our revenues, and also the increase in taxes and fees.
Is there any discussion? Any other discussion?
I want to thank everyone also for their hard work on the budget. And I think something that's notable in this budget is that we are using some fund balance, but we're using that fund balance to pay off debt. So if we didn't do that, we would be taking out bonds which would be long-term debt. So we're using some of the money in this budget to pay off some of the debt so that we're not going to be bonding. And I think that's responsible budgeting from us as town board members.
I would agree. It's fiscally responsible to use the portion of the reserve fund that we used, especially in light of the fact that we're not cutting back on short-term debt that we currently have, and we're also not taking on short-term debt, which is obviously fiscally important because the interest rates are now higher than they were several years ago. We still have at least $3.5, if not $3.7 million in the fund balances remaining, which is a good chunk of money to have in a fund balance. If you have too much money in the fund balance, there's an argument that you're not spending the taxpayers' money, you're just letting it sit there and do nothing. So this is a very fiscally responsible budget with a very minimal tax increase. There are some increases in fees, but those increases in fees are more so to take those departments out of the red, so to speak. We're certainly not increasing fees to make money on water and sewer to pay off any other type of debt. So I certainly am in favor of the budget. Thank you.
I echo Councilmember De La Rada, Bartlett, Supervisor Puccioni, I think made a great point that our taxpayers have already paid that money and it's in the fund balance to be used, not just sit there. And as John said, we can't have too much in there. It's against the state comptroller's advice. So this has been a plan that everyone has participated in. All the department heads have collaborated, and our teamwork has really paid off with a budget that is comprehensive and fiscally responsible, and I thank everyone as well.
Yes, I agree. And I'd just like to note the $3 brush pickup fee, that is one of the increases. And in terms of collaboration, I think it's important that everyone understand we have budget workshops where department heads speak to us about their budget needs, their requests. We examine their revenue and their expenses. We try to do some future planning, and the budget workshops are an opportunity for us to ask questions and to make recommendations. So collaboration as a town board would look like individuals asking questions and making suggestions during the budget workshops. So in order to truly be collaborative, that would be the best place to do that. In addition to following up with your fellow council members directly or the town comptroller. So again, we have budget workshops where these issues can be discussed, and we can discuss possible, changes to the budget, and we can do it together in a public forum rather than speaking about it on social media or to the press. So that is what I would like to say, and if there's no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Based on concerns that I brought up during those budget workshops and in the weeks afterwards, I don't know.
Councilman Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
4 ayes, 1 no.
Great, the resolution passes. And just like to note that those concerns were not brought up during the budget workshops. Moving on to resolution number 2023-280, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing a one-time change in employee benefits regarding a payroll shift to pay current.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-281, sponsored by Councilmember De La Rada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the submittal of a linkage study application for complete streets treatment to Route 7 under the Capital Region Transportation Council Unified Planning Work Program.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion?
Yes, this grant could be $150,000 with only a 10% match, which really is almost free, especially in light of our wonderful highway department that can match that 10%, I'm sure, Ray. We'll talk about that. But that being said, if we get this, this would be great because it's a linkage study, not only to study Route 7, the corridor, but through the complete streets and also the streets that connect to Route 7 and the traffic calming devices that we need throughout that corridor. So hopefully we will get this. There's no guarantee, but you got to be in it to win it, so to speak. So
That's right.
Well done.
I'd like to thank our town planner, Laura Robertson, who has worked with me on this, as well as our chief of police, Chief Koshin. We've been meeting regularly and working on a range of traffic calming measures, whether that's additional engagement through the traffic division or infrastructure changes to Route 7, which would be guided by the data from the linkage study if we are granted if we're awarded this grant. And so that will be very helpful to us. All right, seeing no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-282, sponsored by Councilmember De La Rada.
A resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute a contract for the preparation of a transportation alternative program, congestion mitigation and air quality improvement program, funding application for the town of Niskayuna.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right. Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-283, sponsored by Councilmember McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving the third quarter corporate utility warrant.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I would just like to point out that our Supervisor of Water and Sewer, Matt Yetto, as well as one of his team members, Kathleen Persons, together they were able to identify some potential discrepancies, and they saved the town over $55,000, and I just want to publicly acknowledge their the work on this and just being very detail oriented. I sometimes boring math and topics that are under water and sewer don't get as much excitement as AEDs and youth sports and community programs, but nevertheless they are important to have clean water and sewers that get rid of our waste. So thank you, Matt. Seeing no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Okay, introduction of local law F 2023. And moving to resolution number 2023-284. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution calling for a public hearing regarding an amendment to the town code of the town of Niskayuna that would place parking restrictions on a portion of Plum Street.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
This will be a formal opportunity for the residents in that area to come and talk with us about their thoughts about changing the parking code on Plum Street with the sidewalks there and then emergency vehicles needing to get through. We want to make sure that we have a plan that everyone understands and is comfortable with.
Thank you. Again, this is related to the new sidewalks that the town has just installed, or, we contracted out, but we did fund these additional sidewalks on Plum Street near Hillside Elementary School. And so this would be looking at changing the code to limit the parking on that side, and this would help ensure that emergency vehicles could traverse the area in a safe and efficient way. So thank you for that. Thank you, Chief Koshin, for working on that, and Laura Robertson. Is there any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2023-285, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution accepting donations for the Historical Committee.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. That is all we have on tonight's agenda. At this time, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. We stand adjourned. Have an excellent evening and a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Martinelli, can you just note my thanks to the Griffin family for that donation?